Hi, and welcome back to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants. I'm Jen, your health educator, coach, and master herbalist.
And I'm Dan, your exercise specialist and fellow master herbalist. Today we're diving into the fountain of youth. Health-
Yes.
Healthy aging.
Yeah, this is a great topic. Yes. So, yeah, when we talk about aging and think about aging, of course, the older we get, the younger people look, right? Um, we have to think about too, there's so many people that are really getting up there because of the baby boomers. The baby boomers are all 70s, 80 now. And so it's just such a great important topic. And we look at some of these people too, and we're like, some people, like you look at someone who's 80, and somebody who's 80 might look 130, and somebody else who's 80, might look 60 or 50, and you're like, what? How can these two people be so different? And so we want to talk about the herbs that have to do with aging, but then a little bit about some of the lifestyle factors too, because herbs aren't going to reverse everything and solve all the problems. You can't suddenly start taking herbs when you are 80 and expect miracles to happen. So what do you think about this topic?
I think it's a really important topic because I think all of us want to have a, fulfilling life as long as we live. And you see the people who are 80 and still have they're still very healthy, still have a great social life, they travel. And then you have another person that's 80 and they may be in a nursing home or they stay in their house all day because they're unhealthy and they're have low self-esteem. I don't want to
Right.
be like that. I hope that if I live to be 80, I'm still thriving. Now, some of it, of course, genetics do help,
Yes.
but there's a lot
Yes.
that we can do to live healthy no matter what our genetic potential is. So that's exciting. And this is a emerging topic now. There's a guy, he's some millionaire. You see him on Yahoo a lot. He's undergoing these he's taking all these supplements, eating a vegan diet, all these things, and he's trying to slow his aging process. I can't think of his name, but and a lot of things he's doing is some of the things we teach, and it's
Right.
working for him.
Hmm. So what does it mean to age gracefully or age healthfully?
Well, I mean, my opinion of it is, I think the older we get, it becomes even more important to treat ourselves with compassion and to start really taking care of ourselves, like do all the self-care things that we know about. And
Mm.
like we talk about on this podcast a lot. But I don't know, what is your interpretation of this
Well, I
aging
have to
grace?
think about my grandma who just turned
Yeah.
102 and is still so active. And for me, that's the way I want to age, you know? Um, I want to be able to be active and get out with my friends and do all the things and still eat the foods I want to eat and be able to see well enough to read my own books and things like that and hear. Just can't imagine not being able to hear clearly and see clearly. And so I want to be able to do all that and run around and do all the stuff. Like I said, grandma, she's 102, she still walks. She does walk with a walker. We make her walk with the walker, but she will get up and run to the bathroom or something without our walker. We're like, use your walker, please. Just because she's 102, right? And so I don't know. I want to age like my grandma.
That's a really, really good goal in my opinion. 'Cause-
Mm,
and look, a lot of people think, well, a lot of people equate age with disease because that's what they see a lot. I mean, a lot of older people, they do have
right.
diseases, but there's a big thing. And look, I mean, changes do happen when we get older, but a lot of these people, their lifestyles are not exactly health promoting. And what you're
Right.
seeing is decades of living a poor lifestyle, and it catches up to you.
Yes.
It-
Yeah.
You
And
know?
it just because it's normal doesn't mean that's the way it should be.
No.
Yeah, it's normal to end up in a wheelchair. It's normal to lose your eyesight and your hearing. It's normal to forget things, when you turn 50 and wear glasses and all of that. And so that might be normal, but that isn't the way that it has to be.
And look, there's evidence too, if you're thinking there's no evidence pointing to, aging gracefully. I think there's a documentary now on Netflix, Blue Zones. You can go check that out because these people are thriving. Like, well, let's just say Okinawa. A lot of the
Mhm.
people in Okinawa, they're in their 70s, 80s, and some of them in their 90s, and they still are very healthy. They still have an active life, like we're talking about. They still thrive in the community. So it is possible. So
Mhm.
if you have any self-doubt in your mind today that you can't do this, you can do this. Now it's going to take work, but it will be worth it.
I was thinking of that same documentary as well. It's funny that you said that, but yeah, like I've heard before, like a test of longevity and age is how quickly you can get up from the floor.
Yeah.
And like I can remember, so grandma hasn't always been able to get up off the floor. Like I remember as a kid playing with her we played games all the time. And she would, say, "Oh, grandma's got to get up off the floor." And so she still lived to be 102. And so I mean, hopefully beyond 102. She's 102 now. But I think about that, and I know people who can't get up off the floor. But when the blue zones in Japan, that was one of the things. I mean, they'd be like centenarians sitting on the floor and regularly, yeah, and getting up and down off the floor. Yeah, and so physical activity is huge.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I know we'll talk about the herbs, but physical activity, getting out and movement. And it's not just I walk 20 minutes every day or I work out in the gym 3 days a week. It's daily movement. It's getting up and moving around all the time. Now, I'm guilty of not doing that. Here I am I'm on Zoom calls, 8 hours a day, or sitting at my computer on and off Zoom calls. And so I have to, get up and walk around. Sometimes I have to set alarms. Like here, when we're working on our podcast, sometimes we sit here 2 hours. And so, you have to get up and move throughout the day. We can't just sit here. And I do have days where I will do that. So I'll just have to I'll set the alarm on my phone or on the computer or something just to remind me, hey, you need to get up. It's not just getting up to go to the bathroom. You need to get up and move and get up and outside. So even if you're not exercising, get outside, get some fresh air, get some sunlight. Because that was another thing is they were outside all the time in the blue zones.
Oh yeah. What are they saying now? Is it every 30 minutes you sit, get up for 5 minutes? Is that, or is it
Yeah, something
every
like
hour?
that. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I usually will do like 45 minutes and then I'll make myself go outside and walk around for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you do that, several times during the day, you end up, walking a lot. But I mean, like I said, I have to make myself do it. But that's
Oh
in
yeah.
addition to exercising. So you have to move daily and exercise and get good quality sleep. See, grandma's a big sleeper and she'll tell
Oh
you,
yeah.
she said, not only is she a big sleeper, she sleeps a long time. Um, and I've always been that way too. If I don't get, at least 8 hours of sleep, things aren't going to go well. And I haven't, raising kids, it's really hard to get enough sleep.
Yes.
Um,
I've never raised kids, but I know the drill, especially
yeah.
when they're, infants, but
Well, and you have dogs, and dogs wake you up. It's hard
oh
too.
yeah.
Yeah. I have a client whose dog is like 15 and it wakes her up in the middle of the night to let her to go out. And it's like, well, she's 15. You're not gonna not help your dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Yeah. So let's get a little bit into the herbs and foods. And so one of the things that we hear a lot about are inflammation. Inflammation can definitely cause aging. I've had a lot of inflammation, especially when I was dealing with high antibodies and thyroid. And so I feel like I need to reverse a lot from inflammation, and that has affected my aging as well. I was one of those that people were always like, "You're not old enough to drive," until all of a sudden I caught up to my age. And so and there's age tests you can even take too, which I'm going on a tangent. But antioxidants and anti-inflammatory foods and herbs are wonderful for aging, helping to protect the cells, from free radicals and oxidation. You know, we think about, so if you want to think about antioxidants, if you think about an apple, you cut an apple in half and you sit it on the counter. Well, it depends on what kind of apple you have. It's going to turn brown. It doesn't have a lot of antioxidants, but you squeeze lemon juice on top of that apple, it's not going to turn brown. Or it takes a lot longer to turn brown. And it's because lemon juice is very high in antioxidants. And so that helps prevent rusting. So it's almost like we're rusting in our bodies just from daily activities. If you over exercise, you're creating a lot of free radicals. You're damaging those tissues. If you're weight training, those tiny tears, they create inflammation. We need to reverse that inflammation. And so it's occurring just in natural activities, but then we do stuff to our bodies too. And then if we're eating foods that are inflammatory, if you're eating fried foods or you're cooking foods in oil, that is adding more inflammation. So we need to reverse that and add in those really healthful foods. Think of really bright colors. So bright colored foods and herbs are really great. And so we'll get a little bit more into the foods and herbs. What do you think about that?
I think it's very, very important what you're talking about. It's, the study is showing that oxidative stress accelerates aging. And so one of the things that we can do is eat foods that are high in antioxidants and take herbs. These herbs are also high in antioxidants, but they also have extra anti-inflammatory properties. So one of my favorites is turmeric, and I know you hear about it, especially now you hear about making your own golden milk or something. I think there's one of those recipes. But turmeric is a superstar when it comes to anti or yes, anti-inflammatory. But it works best when you mix it with black pepper. Those studies have shown
Mm.
if you take it with black pepper, it increases the absorption by, they say, 2000%. I don't know how
Wow.
where they got that
Mm,
figure from,
mm,
but turmeric it by itself, the body doesn't absorb it very well, so you have to mix it with black pepper.
mm. I like it in curries. So a lot of people take
Yes.
turmeric capsules and sprinkle turmeric on their foods. I love just, or even buying the root and grating the root on different things. It's beautiful root. But curries. I loved eating all sorts of different kinds of dals and curried vegetables. Like I wanted to eat curry eggplant tomorrow night. My son doesn't like eggplant. So I was like, we got to do a different one because I definitely feel like I want some curry. Anyways, that's my favorite way. And when you eat something like curry, it's got the turmeric, but it also has ginger. And ginger is another one that is great. Is a great anti-inflammatory, great for circulation. We need to make sure that we're keeping the circulation active as we age. We want to make sure those blood vessels stay nice and strong and flowing well too. So I think that's another thing when I was thinking about curries and antioxidants, those beautiful colors, the bright orange color of turmeric, very anti-inflammatory and antioxidant.
Another one I like is a pretty popular is ginseng. It's another one of the adaptogens, or adaptogens.
Mm-hmm.
It helps your body. This means it helps your body deal with stress better. It helps the body, protects the body from some of the oxidative stress. It also helps increase your energy. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
swear by ginseng for their energy levels. So
I've heard that too. And for mental clarity.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, ginseng's a great, and another adaptogen and immune support is ashwagandha.
Mm.
It's also great for aging. I know you were telling me a little bit about that before we got on.
Yeah, there's studies showing that ashwagandha actually protects your telomeres from shortening too quickly. So it actually, the cells can only split, was it 30 times before the telomeres are completely, so studies show that the longer you can keep your telomeres, the slower you age. And ashwagandha is showing that actually helps slow down the shortening of your telomeres, which is huge. I didn't know.
Mhm,
I just found this out maybe a month ago.
mhm,
So that would be something worth taking. I know that I think it's in I want to say China. They actually use ashwagandha as a daily tonic. So I guess they already knew about these anti-aging effects. They take it all the time.
Yeah.
So
That brings me to something we did not give our medical disclaimer. We are not doctors. We do not diagnose. We do not treat. We are not telling you to take any of these herbs or foods. Do your own due diligence. Look into these herbs and products and see if they are right for you. So getting back to this. So ashwagandha, I love ashwagandha. I take it a lot. When I think of ashwagandha, very calming and relaxing, wonderful adaptogen, but it's also a nightshade. So if you're someone who knows you can't have nightshades, I get sick and tired of the diet dogma because everybody jumps on board. I can't have nightshades either. And it's all of a sudden everybody can't have nightshades. I don't buy into that. There are some people who cannot have them. Absolutely true. And so if you are one of those people, then you want to avoid ashwagandha. So another one that's very high in antioxidants is Schisandra berry. I do have Schisandra berry here. It's also, isn't that one also called five spice
I
herb?
believe so. I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, and so it's a kind of a strange flavor, but it's very, very high in antioxidants as well. And so I do like Schisandra berry too, and I add it to like smoothie bowls and things like that.
You know, another one that you hear about a lot now is the goji berry too, because yeah, that's reminded me. It's
Hmm.
supposed to have similar anti-aging benefits. Have you ever had the goji berry? I've had dry ones before.
No, I've seen them. They're really hard to find.
Yeah, they're hard to find. They
Hmm.
taste pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, that
another
was,
one I would add.
yeah. And then I was thinking of amla berry. Amla
Oh
berry is,
yes. Oh yeah.
yeah, it's like one of the highest in antioxidants. Yeah. So I don't know why I didn't
Yes.
think about that one before either, but amla berry. I used to buy amla berry powder and put it in smoothies. I think I actually have some. I haven't been using it in a while. Yeah. And so then that brings me to another one, rose hips. Rose hips,
Yeah.
extremely high in vitamin C, wonderful antioxidants, and it's so easy to add to teas. Just
Yeah.
sprinkle some into anytime you're making an herbal tea, just add some rose hips for an extra boost of vitamin C, which is wonderful to help um, with aging.
Oh yeah. I mean, the body has to have vitamin C to build healthy collagen.
Hmm.
And so a lot of us, we do get a little more achy as we get older, especially if we're active. So
Hmm.
it's good to have a good source of vitamin C. And the rose hips actually has organic vitamin C instead of the synthetic that I'm not saying synthetic vitamin C is bad, but if we can get it from rose hips, I think we'd be better off.
Yeah, from the food, getting it from the food, and like lemon juice and things like that.
Oh
Yes,
yes.
yeah, and so there's some really great herbs, but then we also have um foods, you know, like I said, bright, colorful foods, and dark leafy greens. And so those are so important. And so many of us don't get enough leafy greens, but that's your
No.
minerals. That's all of your minerals. And if you do eat lots of dark leafy greens, which I encourage you to please do, rotate them. People say, well, I can't eat that because of oxalates, which is another one that I'm like so over. But if
Uh,
you rotate your greens, don't eat a giant container of spinach and Swiss chard every day. Maybe you have spinach today, maybe you have kale tomorrow, maybe you have romaine the next day, maybe you have collards the next day. Let's just rotate those greens. Or you go to the grocery store this week, you buy these three dark leafy greens, the next week you buy those dark leafy greens. You don't have to buy the same ones. And play around with them, experiment with them. Um, it's so easy to Google different recipes. If you have tough ones, like some people say, I don't like kale because it's tough. If you chop it small and you massage salad dressing into it, it breaks down those cell walls, makes it a lot more tender. My kids, they can clean up as kale just after we massage it. They didn't like it until we started doing that, but we eat massaged kale salads. They clean them up. They're delicious.
oh yes,
Nuts
wonderful.
and seeds. Yeah, I didn't
Yes.
mean to interrupt you. Yeah.
I was just going to second that. Massage kale is amazing. If you think you don't like kale, try that.
Yes, yes. And then also not colorful, but nuts and seeds, especially like walnuts. Walnuts are great for brain health. And they're also very anti-inflammatory. The walnuts, but then chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, very anti-inflammatory. Those are great and high in vitamin E, which is kind of hard to get in some of our foods. And so I love seeds. If you can get lots of seeds, lots of nutrients, omega-3s in there, and then bright colored berries. Berries are a superfood that we think of as for brain health. And so those are some foods that I thought would be really great. Looking at your plate, we're going to add some more color.
Yes, I don't think, I mean, most of us do not get enough color. I don't get enough color from day to day. I know I
Mhm,
don't. And from being a coach.
mhm.
So, but it's good to get recipes like Jennifer's talking about, to get recipes to give you ideas about how to incorporate these colors. Salads are great. You can make salads that are amazing. You know, it's not like the high school lunchroom salad with a little bit of water, you know, just a little bit of lettuce and a tomato on top. We're talking about salads that have greens, like Jennifer's talking about, astragalus, you know, spinach. You can have berries on your salad. You can have nuts on there. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Yes. Yeah. Whenever I fix this out, I think, where can I add more color? Shredded purple cabbage or
Mm.
blueberries. Yeah, get that purple in there. Maybe you like squashes. I do. I love like roasted squash on top of a salad. It doesn't have to all be raw. Um, Different colored bell peppers. You can get all the colors, right? Adding some tomatoes, using salad dressings, not sun dressings, salad dressings that include vegetables. Put them in there in your blender. You know, throw in some zucchini to make a really creamy dressing. Throw in some bell pepper to give it a little tangy flavor, and that's adding red to your dressing. It doesn't necessarily have to be the crunchy parts. Yeah.
Yeah, I do
So
believe a big salad every day like that will definitely go a long way in helping you age gracefully.
yes, and increasing the fiber. Fiber, fiber, fiber.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes. So many people are not getting enough fiber. So if you can eat more plants, increase the fiber, less fried foods, eliminate them if you can, please. I'm not cooking oils, reducing the inflammatory foods, processed foods, eating real whole foods, and making a colorful plate, and including all of these herbs that we've been talking about. And that you can see a lot of them are as food. Turmeric can be a supplement. It can be a part of your meal. Yeah. So any way you can incorporate that is really great.
So it's not complicated. If you want to age gracefully, you had to embrace a healthy lifestyle with a lot of things we're talking about. Healthy
Mm-hmm.
food, healthy movement, healthy sleep. And we hadn't talked about it, but we'll talk about it really fast because they're showing that a healthy social life is huge and staying healthy and slowing down the aging process. And this is a tough one for me to talk about because I have problems with that. As a coach, I know it's bad, but I encourage everybody to figure out how to make more friends. There's even places here in my city for older people. Some of the gyms have senior programs where they can go every maybe twice a week and play bingo, and they have meals together, things like that. But social interaction is really important. But I
Mm-hmm.
think in our day and age with all this technology, all this social media and things, that social, like true in-person social interaction is becoming less, uh,
Mm-hmm.
what's the word I'm thinking about? It's just happens less. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And that it's connectedness, connecting with
Yeah.
others. But as you're saying that, so grandma's a big bingo player. She does all the
Oh,
games. All the games. We have games to do. I'm so busy. We just have all these games. So yeah.
see, her grandmother is a role model for healthy aging. She's doing a lot of things right. So,
Yep. And positive attitude.
yeah, that's a big one.
Gratitude. Yes. Yes. So I hope this helps you, um, all of you listeners, as you think of things that you can do to age gracefully and live a long, healthful life. We love to hear from you. So please subscribe to our channel, comment below. You liked this episode, we want to hear it. If you did not let us know what you would like to hear. We want to hear. Anyway, thank you for joining us.